Hi there, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night wherever you are in the world. I'm in the UK, so it's good evening for me. I hope everybody's well. Welcome to Tad Talk. We are, let me check my notes, we are episode 18, season 3 of Tad Talk, and I will be hosting this evening because Terry Davies has other work to do, but I have on my other side, and I have to tell you before we go over to Nick, that nobody gave me the dress code memo, but please introduce my amazing guest host, Mr. Nicholas Davis. Good morning, Nick.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing, Sam?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Good. And I just wanted to reiterate that the other work that Terry has to do today is watching a football match on the television. So Sam was trying to be nice about it. I'm completely upfront with it. He's not working. He's watching a soccer game. So enjoy, Dad.
I honestly didn't know, Nick. He didn't tell me. He just said he was busy. That's all he said. You know, Sam, will you do this for me? I have more important stuff to do. I'm actually not watching a Liverpool game, right? Happy days. We have got an amazing guest for you today on Tad Talk. This guy, he tears the room down wherever he goes. He has people on their feet at the end of his show. He has the most energy, and his whole career is so all over the place. You are going to love what he does. Check out Basile.
I went to Greece 2 years ago. I got an opportunity to entertain the United States Embassy during the Olympic Games, and I'll tell you, it was wonderful. Flew right into Athens, rented a car, and there is where I broke my number one rule: never ever be larger than the car you drive. But not only do I look like Fred Flintstone, I'm even driving like Fred Flintstone. You know how embarrassed I have to pick up your car to make a left? And they don't understand yabba-dabba-do. Were you born here or in Greece? Sinodata? Okay, bravo. So my mother too. This is one of the stories I love telling. This is one of the reasons why I love ballsy, aggressive, intelligent women. My mother came to this country at age 29. First husband killed by the communists in Greece. He was a lieutenant in the Greek army. And you always hear those horror stories. People, when they emigrate to the United States, have to scrub floors for a living. My mother scrubbed floors for a living. 5 days a week, 12 hours a day, she scrubbed floors. She did this for 7 years until she met my dad. On her weekends, worked at a diner as a dishwasher. Made enough money to bring 18 members of her own family from Greece to the United States. And through all that BS she went through, to this day, maintains the greatest sense of humor in the world. My mother's name is Rosemary, married my father Herb. I'm gonna name me Basile. Has done shit to me that's just not right. My mother made me listen to old Greek music. Have you people ever heard of old Greek music? It sounds like this, right? Take a goat by the balls and pull hard.
Oh, that is one unlucky goat, I have to tell you. That is a bad situation for a goat. Basile, to Canis, yes.
It's so sad. It's good to be here, but it's so sad when I go to Greece and goats see me walking towards the farm. They're like, hey, start barking. So anyway, it's good to be on the show with you all. How you guys doing?
We're good. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much, man. Your energy on stage is just incredible.
Oh, thank you. You know, Sam, I got to be honest. I didn't know that when I was talking to you, you were in the UK. And so, Nick, where are you at right now?
I'm in the beautiful hub of Arizona right now.
Oh, good. Satan's oven. Beautiful. Okay, that's great. Okay.
Inside my home.
Dude, because I go back and forth. I do a lot of shows in London. And I like, because I've done, there's a couple of great theaters that I've done. But there's a small little intimate theater called the Millfield Theater in North London. And I've done I'll do a whole week there, and I do the Growing Up Greek in America show. So I'll take the whole week up and do one show a night, then 2 shows Saturday, 2 shows on Friday, then a show on Sunday. And it's always cool doing the show there because a lot of Cypriots over there. So I love doing the shows there.
You're absolutely right. It's near Palmer's Green and Winchmore.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a Greek.
20 minutes with me. Next time you're here, I'm coming over.
It's a great theater, right? It's a great theater, and I've done a couple more, and I'll think of them in a second. Very, very big theaters, and which I really love doing, but just a lot of fun. Hey, it's great to be on the show. What's going on, guys? What's happening? Tell me your thing.
Well, Nick, you tell it.
Well, if those of you watching right now have seen any episodes of Tad Talk, you know that we start the show with 3 random quick-fire questions, and Basile, today is no different. I have 3 questions for you, and here is the first one. You have been kidnapped, and the main character of your favorite cartoon television show is coming to rescue you. Are you in good hands?
If you see right up here at the top corner, that is Bullwinkle. I am convinced that I will be saved by Rocket J Squirrel and Bullwinkle Moose. Absolutely, no question about it. Today, need what to do today, Bagel. So yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm going to be right there. I love that. We'll talk about Bullwinkle in a little bit. What's the next question? Let's go.
Absolutely. And that is something we're going to talk about later because Basile down here does the voice for Bullwinkle for Universal. And that is something we are going to get into great detail about because that is awesome. But first, Sam, I'm going to ask you that same question.
Oh, sorry. What was the question again, Nick? I was looking at Bullwinkle. Would I be in safe hands? A superhero or cartoon character, right?
Yeah.
Cartoon character. Well, it would have to be for me. It would have to be this little fella. Let me grab hold of him. He's my favorite, and I've got him right next to my desk.
Tasmanian Devil.
It's based on Basile as well. So Basile has been designed around every cartoon character. Absolutely, he's my superhero. I love him.
Awesome. All right, Basile.
Wait. We can't get away with this. What about you? Yeah.
Okay. I would probably be screwed because I don't think Homer Simpson would do much for me.
Right.
Stop for donut. Forget all about it. So, yeah, I'm dead, unfortunately. Question number 2, Basile. What is your least favorite smell?
Again, we were discussing that this is a family show. I used to work construction when I lost my ride playing ball, and the sewers were just make me gag. Have you ever watched the movie, The Shawshank Redemption?
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay, when he escapes and has to go through 500 yards, a half a mile of sewer to get out of that prison, I would just say, oh, hell no, it's all right. I'll give the rest of my life for y'all. It's good. Just take me. Sewage. Can't stand sewage. It just makes it, be one of those things.
That was my trip to school, Basile. You've just described my journey to school.
But stop your bragging, Sam. Stop your bragging.
What about you, Sam?
My worst smell. Do you know, I have this weird thing that I've only just contracted. It's a weird thing that I can't get cigarette smoke out of my nose. It's apparently a condition you get when you're old, and I'm old now. So this is a weird thing. Even if I've been nowhere near cigarette smoke, I can smell it. So I can smell it all the time. Working bars and pubs all those years ago, and then thankfully they stopped smoking indoors. So it's probably the residue of that. I've got it in my head. But that's what I hate, cigarette smoke.
Oh, God, for sure.
This is probably not something to say because it's a little childish, but dog farts, can't do it. Can't.
Human ones are okay.
You know what? I was thinking.
I just want to make sure because if human ones are okay.
Because I've spent an entire lifetime with my father, and if I can get over my dad's, then that's fine. But if my dog does it, there's no survivors.
Okay. Well,
how big is your dog? How big is your dog?
He is a Chihuahua.
Oh my God! Are you serious? Really? Yeah. You might just say, well, a frog farted. Really? What the hell was that? There's no smell. You say your Chihuahua has a terrible fart.
Absolutely. I'm sure the first person who saw a frag grenade was like, oh, that's tiny. There's no way that could hurt me. Lo and behold. Question.
Lovely. Chihuahua farts. Let me write that down for a second.
So we've said.
I've got to tell you that's what they use inside a spirit level. That's how they make them. You know, the bubble. That's how they make those things. Anyway,
That's why it's green.
question three.
Question number 3. Would you rather be able to teleport or travel through time?
Travel through time.
Okay, awesome. And if you could travel through time, where would be the first year that you would travel?
Oh man, I would really, I would love to go back to the biblical age, and probably go to the point where Jesus was starting to get his following, and probably that would be my number one, to go there and see how he did it. You know. With no Facebook or anything, there was no Twitter, because I'm thinking, Jesus, they're going to hate this. Oh God, they're going to hate this. I think that's what I probably, I would go back to that time.
Wow, great answer.
What about you, Sam?
Well, I was just thinking it'd be a nightmare trying to knock out the messages in social media for tablets. That would take forever. My answer would be exactly the same. I'd just like to go back, and all of those things. If I could go back for all the big. I love a conspiracy. So go to all those things that you go, did it happen? Was it them? To the hub of those questions. That's where I'd like to go. See if it was true.
That's what I was exactly going to say. I would go back to November of 63 and just hide out in that school depository and just see if what happened to JFK really happened. That's I
think if there was ever a time, speaking of that, if there was ever a time there was some type of a conspiracy, given the angle of the supposed magic bullets and the shot to the head, it would probably, that would be the only one that would think that there was a conspiracy, because what was going on with Cuba at that time, and also with the CIA. And what Kennedy did to pull out all the stops after, dealing with the government in Cuba, and then just letting the ball drop. I think there was a lot of, that's the only conspiracy I could think. And there's a lot of other information. I got a chance to read through some of the volumes of the actual Warren report. And it's real interesting. You got to sit there and read every one, not the condensed one, the entire 12 volumes.
You were talking before, we were having a quick chat before we came on air, and you were talking about how diverse your career's been. You've pretty much had your finger in every pie throughout your career, right?
Well, I actually love, I love politics. I love history. That's one of the things I think is so sad, that we're tearing down crazy statues and stuff like that. I always felt that you learn from them. I remember my daughter, one time, we have a statue in Wilmington. It was called from the Daughters of the Confederacy. And she asked, Daddy, what's that? And I said, well, honey, this is what the Confederacy was. And that's why they were terrible. And that's why it needed to be taken down, is to remind us that this should never, ever happen again. And she goes, you're right. And now it's so sad that we can't really do that anymore, because of what's going on with all this. So my background's a little bit crazy, because I got a chance to work on Capitol Hill, and I got a chance to do a lot of things. And like I said, now I tell witty penis jokes.
Well, it gave you a lot of material, all right.
Not so much for the kids.
Your energy, man, on stage is just, it's out of this world. Watching some of your stand-up and watching how you engage, and, you must lose pounds during a show.
I sweat. You know what? I wound up losing some weight. I'm getting ready for a special that I'm doing once we can film again. And then I've been asked to do a couple of films that are going to be, one's going to be done in Cyprus, the other one's going to be done in Greece. So I'm really excited about that. So I wanted to whittle down some weight. So now I'm got about 240 right now, and it's tall as I am. And you can tell from my face, from the video, how much I've kind of lost. So, I love, I just lose my, you got to be kidding me. Now they're calling me? Now they're calling me. They can't call me now. Okay, I can't call me.
Your agent.
Yeah, I can't. It's my agent. What? I get to go on a ship again. Okay.
You mentioned there about a film coming up. Sorry, Nick. You mentioned about a film coming up.
Yeah.
There's another exclusive with Netflix, right?
I have a special that we're going to be doing with Netflix. Because I have 3 Greek specials that I've already done. This is my non-Greek special that I'm going to be doing, and it's called Dysfunctionally Yours. And so I'm pretty excited about it, and we're thinking about maybe even changing that title. But that's the name of the tour that I've just been on. So I really get a kick out of doing that. And I guess the difference between my show that I do and a lot of other great stand-ups that you have had on this show is my jokes, it's an equation. Okay. And then the equation, there's a lot of X's that you have to fill in. And I like, working the crowd and putting it in, and it makes it almost new, even because I have so many people that come back to the shows again. And they said, if you already seen the show, you got to let enough room for people to come back because there's other people who didn't see the show, which is a great compliment. But I love it. And I love working when I do my show, I don't like it all the way dark in the showroom. I want it 50% because I want to go all the way in the back in the cheap seats and all the way upstairs and whatever, just to be able to work the crowd. And for me, it's just a lot of fun, and it makes it different, a different show every time. Even the adult show that we wind up doing, it's a different dynamic. So people will say, "Oh, that was the nice Basile. We loved him." I go, "Oh, that was the evil Basile, but we like him too." So it's fun for me to do the shows. Thanks for the compliment. I'm choking because I'm lying, evidently. Okay.
I do want to mention that in about 10 or 12 minutes, we're going to be having a trivia going on in the middle of Tad Talk here. So as you can see on your screen right now, once the time comes, you can go to tadtrivia.com/funny facts, or you see that QR code on your screen as well. If you're on a tablet or an iPhone, you can just scan that code and it'll take you right to the page. You can win 100 Tad travel bucks today, and we'll tell you more about that as we get closer. But Basile wants to play because he's just extremely excited.
I just want to spend a couple of Tad dollars. That's all I want.
What can you buy with Tad dollars? This is really interesting.
I don't know, but I'm going to go to Walmart. I'm going to give it a shot and see if they take it. I would love to do that. Absolutely. That's going to be a lot of fun. I love trivia.
Absolutely. Well, Basile, tell us, like, from the beginning, what made you want to get into comedy and performing on stage and making it happen?
I was an ex-football player and high school, college, and then I got cut. I couldn't play anymore. I got damaged. Surprised Terry wasn't at any of my games. And to be honest with you, since Terry's such a big fan of football, so couldn't be at my show, but thank God we have Sam. Sam is with us. Sam gives a damn. So I went, I worked some construction. I finished up my education. I went to a school, a university that didn't have a football program because I knew I'd be dragged right back in it. It took me an extra year to go ahead and graduate, but I graduated and I wanted to go to law school and become a lawyer. And it just wasn't in it for me. And one day my mother was ill. And so one day my cousin goes, "Hey, let's go to a comedy club. You need to relax." And I go, "Sure, let's go to a comedy club." And I saw a comedian who was horrific. And I'm like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me. I could do this." And of course, I am, I have a big ego. Like, I can crash through a wall. I can do whatever. I can do that. And my cousin said, "I bet you $20 you won't do it." I said, "Really?" I said, "Okay." So I wound up a couple of weeks later, I did an open mic night at the Cleveland Comedy Club. And I went there and I got bit. I walked up there and said, "Wow, this is really a lot of fun." And I actually won. I won the actual, thing that they had there. And I'm like, great. Went back the following week, won again. And did it a third time, won again. And I said, "Hey," and the owner of the club said, "Hey, you want to open up a weekend?" I said, "Sure, I would love that." So I wound up opening up for the weekend, and an agent saw me. And next thing you know, I started traveling and going all over, and started my career that way. And I was an established headliner with, television credits. And then all of a sudden, my mother told me, she goes, why don't you do something for the Greeks? I mean, you speak Greek fluently. And I'm like, oh, my God, no, that'll never work. 3 specials later, 5 different tours in Australia, throughout Europe, throughout North America, South Africa, doing Growing Up Greek in America, which is a comedy series that I basically invented, if you will. And then all of a sudden, Nia Vardalos' show, film, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, came about, and that just exploded my career even more. So I was very, very pleased, if you will. And now I'm going to be starting doing more concerts for the Greek stuff, because now I'm doing it via Zoom. And people want me to do that because I guess there's a lot of people who want, and I have like 4 or 5 different moderators that come on the show with me, like you guys, and there's like hundreds of people or whatever, and they put it together, they sell the show, and I give them a break because a lot of these organizations are nonprofits, maybe a Greek Orthodox church, maybe a Greek organization like the AHEPA, which is the American Hellenic Educational Progressive Association, that I work closely with as well. And that's what I do, and we do it all over the world, so it's a lot of fun. There are sleepless nights sometimes because you got to do a show in a different time zone, but it's okay. For me, it's very, very pleasant, and it's nice mixing it up, that you can do your show in Greek, you can do your show in English, you can do a clean show, an adult show, that you go in different directions. And I've been blessed with the art of BS, as it were. That's what I told you guys earlier, except I didn't use BS. So to me, it's always been just a lot of fun goofing off with the audiences. The only time it gets a little bit hectic is when I always go if I'm on a cruise ship, for example, I'm the first one in line to go grab something to eat, because you won't be able to finish your meal because everyone wants to talk to you. And I have to talk to everyone. I'm not one of those guys who's standoffish, or I have to eat my meals in my cabin or stuff like that. I love playing Vegas. I love playing Atlantic City. I love doing casinos all over the United States and Canada. So to me, I've been blessed with the greatest job in the world.
Oh, that's awesome. I can see that you're so passionate about it, Basile. The smile on your face as you're talking about it, it's infectious. So you say you work all over the world entertaining different nationalities, different countries. Do you get a different reception wherever you go with regards to the way they receive you? Man, I really work hard to try and get everyone to laugh and to be on the same page. You know what I'm saying? There are times when I play Greece that Greeks will come from Greece to the show, and because it's almost like a 50-50, 50% English, 50% Greek, and you play off the double entendres and the meanings of this and what it means here and back and forth, and sometimes they get a little bit lost. I'll admit that. And then afterwards, they'll ask me in Greek, "What did you mean by this?" And I'll tell them. They go, "Oh, that's so funny," So, and then they wind up taking me out for ouzo, and it's a party. You know what I'm saying? So it's a bit of a quiz as well as a show. That's great.
Yeah. Whatever you can.
It's polylegal.
Right.
Tiniest bit of Greek. And, I was watching it, and it doesn't really matter because you can see that it's obviously funny. Does it make sense?
There are people who have married into the Greek way of life. Maybe a woman or a man who married someone who was Greek, and they come to my shows and they're going, "We didn't understand a damn thing, but just your facial expressions just sell the whole joke and stuff, and it just makes us laugh." And it was kind of funny. My wife, this is the longest my wife and I have actually been together since we've been married, and my wife, who is to me one of the funniest people in the world. That's who I just hung up on before, and I have a lot of explaining to do. Anyway, she is the funniest person, and she makes me laugh. And and she is, without knowing she's being funny, she's funny. And my wife Kula is an ex-basketball player. She's 5'10", played basketball at NC State, right? So she's mean as God knows what, and she'll take you and me and everyone else to the hole on a drive, and I'm like, it hurts playing you, and I don't want to play you anymore. So she got fed up with me the other day, and when she got fed up, she goes, "That's it. I have just had it with you. I am done with you. That's it. My next husband is going to be gay. I said, well, I didn't even know that we were getting rid of this husband. She goes, he's going to be gay. He's going to wash the clothes. He's going to go ahead and do the cooking, the cleaning. He's going to paint for me. He's going to take me out for shows. He's going to take me out to dinner. And that's when I stopped and go, oh, listen, I want a gay man too, for God's sakes. This is what I want. I need to have this in my life. How bad can it be? Come on, let's go to the show. Let's go. So for me, it's always been really crazy and fun to be and to do my shows. And even though if I'm not doing my show on stage, I'm doing my show with you guys, and I'm doing my show with my wife, and I'm going and I'm getting all this material back and forth. And to me, it's just the greatest gig in the world to actually do what I do. I'm blessed.
There's funny people and people who do funny things, and you're obviously, the former. You're a funny person, Basile. Right.
Thanks.
But I know you do a lot of voices, and Nick is really, really eager, and he's chomping at the bit to ask you the questions.
Are we going to make all the questions, or are my answers too damn long for you?
There's comments coming in left and right on the Facebook feed here as well, and just from the beginning, people have been saying what their least favorite smell is. My mom came on and said that my dad's farts were her least favorite smell. Somebody said sprouts, green beans, Marmite, parsnips. All over the board. But we have a question here from Terry's wife, who is currently pissed off.
Oh, she's not at the game? Okay, go ahead.
Because Terry's not asking any questions right now.
Yeah. You might be pushing back a pint right now, if anything.
Depends how his team is doing. He might not.
Yeah.
I'll check.
The question we got from her is, what is your funniest stage moment?
Oh, my God. Ooh, that's tough. There's been so many. I mean, geez. I think one of the funniest ones that I remembered doing, a woman was being a real wise ass on in my audience, and she was just beautiful. And I'm like, listen, I said, you look great in those shoes coming in, and if you don't stop it, I will take a drink out of your shoe. She goes, you won't do it. Okay. I walked off. I had no idea if the woman maybe had toe jam or some type of disease or whatever. I took my beer, I poured it into her shoe, and I drank it out of her shoe like that. And the place went absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. And how do you follow that? I said, well, folks, good night. And I took her shoe with me. I said, if this girl wants it, she's got to come and get her own damn shoe.
That's a different disease altogether, isn't it? COVID-19.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh, that's funny. Oh, I wish I could have been there to see that.
It's a little bit, and there's so many different times when sometimes I get caught off guard. I have a crazy opening that I do with my black leather jacket, and you think I'm going to be coming across like Dice Clay. And then the crazy closing that I do is singing Friend Like Me, jumping into the audience. My biggest thing, especially dealing with cruise directors, you get a huge array of different cruise directors. Some are fantastic. Some are okay. It's a mixed bag of tricks. Yeah. And, I love when the cruise directors will introduce me, then run into the audience and take a seat someplace or stand in the back if there's no seating available and watch the show. Perhaps the greatest compliment you can ever get when you could do that, a lot of guys want to, I always refer to the cruise director as boss. Boss, what do you want me to do? What do you need me to do? What time you need me to get off by? And if I'm usually within a minute that they do, because I know how to, pace my time and everything. And some of the greatest compliments I ever got, being on stage were from cruise directors, and the audiences have always been great, not only on ships, but at comedy clubs and at theaters and doing the Greek show or the non-Greek show. I've been, again, very blessed.
That's great stuff. I think it's time that we hit this trivia.
Yeah.
It's about that
My
time.
God, it's 2:31. My God, the time is just flying.
Oh, it's flying. Well, again, if you're on your phone or your computer or tablet or whatever, go to tadtrivia.com/funny facts or scan that QR code on your screen right now. This is all about random facts that are 100% true that exist in the world. So if you don't know the answers, you're going to learn some fun stuff today. So, and there may be one question about Basile in here as well, so hopefully you've been paying attention throughout this show. And as I said before, you could win 100 Tad Travel bucks. What is Tad Travel? Take a look at this video. You don't have the commercial, so we're not going to show you this video today. You can use Tad Travel.
Welcome to Tad Travel.
Fill in the blanks. VIP trips with Tad Travel. We, because of COVID, we weren't able to do this, but we were going to go to a trip to Iceland recently on a VIP trip, and it was going to be incredible and so much fun. But once this comes back into the world, we are going to.
Do you see this? This is no match for Tad dollars.
That's right.
No match. Okay, yes, he's got a great Broadway show. Hamilton was fantastic. But one day there will be a Broadway show called Tad Dollars.
If you come into Tad with real money, we will take it, but it will not be like Tad Travel.
That's not the trivia. That's not the trivia. Oh, Dan.
I spit on this. I want the Tad dollars. What I want.
In 30 seconds, we're going to kick off, and you're going to get it's all multiple choice. So you have those fingers ready. If you've got thick fingers, beware that you could push and the quicker you answer, the more points you're going to get. So try and read it and get those answers in as quick as you can.
So are we supposed to answer too as quickly as we can?
No, not straight away, Basile, because what we'll do is we'll give the audience the answers then. So we will see the time ticking down, and we'll just have a little discussion between ourselves as it does just that.
I see. Okay.
Strassusquipedaliophobia is the fear of what? Monsters, bright lights, long words, or hippopotamuses? Is it hippopotamus Strassusquipedaliophobia? One more time is that word. See, this is probably my favorite word in the entire world. It's just so cool.
You have definitely rehearsed that, Nick.
I have.
That's not something you can phonetically just go bang, have that. Do you know the answer to this, Basile?
Well, I think you probably would have to assume the beginning part of that word, but it says pedophilia. I am going to go. Do I give the answer?
Yeah, you can say the answer, what you think it is now.
Say what you think.
I think it would be the obvious would be D.
Hippopotamuses. Let's see. Well, most people said long words. That would be
very clever. 71% of the people out there are very bright because they are, Nick.
Correct. Leaderboard.
What is the fear of hippopotamuses? Clip 230.
Clip 230.
I don't know what that stands for. Sarah L is coming in a close second. Good. Well done.
Let's move on to question 2. Sam, this is all yours.
Get those fingers ready. Okay, the first ever ice hockey puck was made out of what? A, ice. B, frozen poutine gravy. I don't know what that is. C, a 4-film reel. D, frozen cow manure. What was the first hockey puck made out of? I'm going to have to put my glasses on because I can't see anything. Oh, there you go. That's the TV. Thank you.
So poutine gravy, 4-inch film reel, ice, or frozen cow manure. One of these.
You don't know what poutine is, Sam?
I don't know what it is.
Poutine is like gravy mixed with curd cheese that they put over French fries.
It sounds
in
horrendous.
Canada. Yeah, in Canada they refer to it as an instant heart attack. You can nearly feel your arteries clog up as you put it in your mouth.
So you don't ever order a second portion, no?
Not so much, no, not so much.
Basile, what do you your answer?
I am going to go, as much as I want to say frozen cow manure, I'm going to go with a piece of ice.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to go with ice.
Most people said the manure. Are they correct?
Everybody's talking.
Are.
Brilliant. That's
Wow.
amazing.
Wow.
Absolutely.
See, I was going to go with that, and I guess I'm stuck. I'm going to be stuck with this because I ain't looking good for no Tad dollars for Basile. Okay.
SFB first. It's the San Francisco botanists are first. So let's move on to the third question. Who said, "I've never had an accident worth talking about"? Sully Sullenberger, Justin Bieber, Jim Lovell of Apollo 13, or Captain E.J. Smith of the Titanic? Who has said, "I've never had an accident worth talking about"?
Well, they've all had pretty big accidents.
Yes, they have.
Houston, they've got problems. What do you reckon this is, Basile? What do you reckon it is?
I would say C, Jim Lovell.
Lovell
Yeah, I'm going with you.
as well. All right. It's all around the board here, all across. Let's see what the correct answer is. Captain E.J. Smith of the Titanic.
Really?
Yeah.
And he didn't get a chance to talk about the one that he had. So, yeah.
He was true when he said it. Yeah.
Wow.
Hate to be doing a gig on that ship.
Wow.
I'll tell you the truth.
Wow.
All right. Fourth question. Sam, it's all you.
Question 4. Quick fingers. In Svalbard, Norway, it is illegal to what? A, have children, B, vacation, C, die, or D, fly kites. I know the answer to this.
You know this one?
I know this. I don't know why I know it. I don't know how I know it. And it's quite disturbing that I know it. But I know it.
Basile, have you ever heard this before?
I don't know what kind of drugs Sam is doing to actually know this answer.
Yeah, I know. It's weird how I know this, but I've read this very recently. This is abject coincidence.
Abject coincidence. Let me see. Die.
That's exactly what the answer is. I'm certain that's what the answer is.
Most people said fly kites. What is the correct answer?
I think it's die. It is. It's die.
It's illegal to die in this small town in Norway.
Yeah.
Which,
it's to do with burial and being able to get back to the mainland because they won't bury you on the island. So if you're going to die, you've got to preempt it and go home.
Look, you don't have to die, but you can't die here.
My biggest fear is to die away from home, and they ship my body. And when they ship my body, you know that piece of luggage that goes on the carousel that no one collects? That's my biggest fear. Because we're just going to take him to the lost and found and see if someone collects it. That's my biggest fear.
And there's never a handle on it, is there? There's never any handles.
No, my wife will come up. I was late. There was a traffic jam going to the airport, and I just
So like him.
Question 5. In California, you can't legally buy a mousetrap without having what? A picture of the mouse, written consent from the mouse, a hunting license, or a college degree.
Oh my goodness me! Brilliant answers. Brilliant answers. Who thought up these, Nick? This has
the mouse said it was okay. The mouse. It's written Mickey.
What is it? What is the answer to this? I have not got a clue. What do you reckon it is, Basile? Can't legally buy a mouse.
Probably see a hunting license.
Hunting license. What did most people say? That is very high on C. Let's see what the correct answer is. That is correct. Hunting license.
Really?
Oh yeah, I have a couple of mice mounted on my wall over there.
Illegally killed because you don't have a license.
Yeah, we were poaching. Okay, so
poaching mice. Next question. Oh, in Texas, it's illegal to swear in front of what? The mirror, a corpse, Pizza Hut, or your spouse? Wow.
These are all true.
Swear in front of the mirror, a corpse, Pizza Hut, or your spouse. Nick, do you know this?
I think I do. Well, I say that, but who knows with this?
Look, I know it's dangerous to swear in front of one of them, but
Yeah.
I've cursed in the mirror, and I was offended, to be quite honest. That's number one. So it can't. I'm going to go with a corpse.
me too. I'm going to go corpse.
Let's see what most people. It's kind of around the board, but most people said a corpse. Let's see if they're right. They are. They're absolutely.
The ad dollars are coming back, baby.
You've got your name all over them, Basile.
Cilantro. Is that your cousin, Basile?
No, my mother Rosemary, my father Herb, like I said. Okay, forget it. No, Cilantro is not my cousin. However, Meg is my sister, and she's a nut. So anyway, go ahead. Okay. Look, we can do spice jokes all day. All right, go ahead.
All right, next question. Who invented the blow-up doll? Was it Adolf Hitler, Charlie Sheen, Hugh Hefner, or Mattel?
Oh, see, that's just so wrong, isn't it? That's so wrong.
I think I know this.
You know this?
The big question is, how do you know this? It's one thing knowing the laws of Iceland, but this.
Hold on. You think?
You got an original of the answer there.
I can't go there. All right. Mattel.
Mattel, what do you think, Sam?
Wow. Yeah. It's got to be, hasn't it? It's got to be Mattel.
Let's see. Most people said Mattel. Let's see if they're right. Adolf Hitler.
Adolf Hitler?
But that makes sense. There you go. It's weird.
How does that make sense, Sam?
You don't want to go there. My brain is, you don't want to go there. That's
I
weird.
can't see.
No, listen, for all the troops that are going to invade Poland, we shall make inflatable dolls. Everybody. Then we shall put them in the people's car, the Volkswagen. Yes. Hey.
Not as wrong as mine. It has gone down on me.
Oh my God.
This one is called Ava.
Next question, please. Okay, two of Al Clatbots. Was that chatbots? Oh, two AI chatbots were created by Facebook to talk to each other. Why were they shut down? Was it they were plotting Earth's destruction? They started siding with MySpace? They started communicating with an unknown language? Or they insulted Mark Zuckerberg? Ooh. That's a tough question with long answers.
There's two scary outcomes to that question.
They really are. They really are. Okay, I know which one I'm going with. A. I'm going with A.
You're going with A?
I'm because Zuckerberg was a real control freak. So I'm going to say B. They started siding with MySpace.
All right, let's see what people said. Oh, most people said they started communicating in an unknown language. That would be terrifying. Let's see if they're absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Oh, good
It
God.
was true. What they all said in the beginning was true.
Oh,
It's
my God.
Woo. Wow, okay, next question, please. Which question are we on now?
Number 9. What is
Question 9.
What is Johnny Depp afraid of? Snakes, Winona Ryder, pirates, or clowns?
Amber Heard wasn't in that one.
The movie Edward Scissorhands. That's what he was afraid of. No. I'm going to go with D. Clowns.
Clowns?
Yeah, I'm going to go. I go with A. Everyone's scared of snakes.
Most people say clowns. Let's see. Let's see if they're right. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, they are. If you were playing this, you could have won Tad Bucks, which you were so excited about.
My goodness, you could have been a man now.
Yeah, I'm just pissed off that I can't get any Tad Bucks.
Okay, the final question on Tad Trivia tonight is, what is Basile's ancestry? Is he German, Greek, Japanese, or Polish? I think I know this. I think I know this.
I know this.
If you've been paying attention,
It's that Berlin accent.
it
Yeah.
is.
Yes. Yes. Let's see, blow up doll. Prepare. We are going to Poland.
My God.
Okay, do we know?
Here's the answer.
Everyone was paying attention.
100%.
How funny would it have been if I actually told you guys I'm Polish, but that wouldn't work.
Oh, that's great. Cilantro took the win today. 9 out of 10 questions answered correctly. Congratulations, Cilantro. You put your email in before you played, so you win that $100 TAD Travel Bucks. Congratulations. Get in touch with Basile because he might want to get maybe half and half on those travel bucks with you.
Well, a little cilantro, a pinch of basil, anything's possible.
Basil, we kind of say this pretty much every time because the time has flown. It's 47 minutes in now, and we could do this 3 times over. You've been amazing.
This has been a lot of fun. I want to thank y'all for having me. Hey, listen, for your audience that's listening, follow me. Go ahead and go to Basile Fans. That's BASILE FANS. There's an E at the end of my name, so it's BASILE FANS. That's for Facebook, for Twitter, also for Instagram. And then you can always catch my website. Go to basilelive.com. That's BASILELIVE.com. You can always check out my stuff. You can download all the videos, the audios of various CDs, T-shirts for the Greek fans that are out there. We got the OPA. Let me show you here. It's the Venduza Palooza World Tour. You know what Venduzas are?
I know what
Venduzas are. You ever heard of cupping? During the Olympic Games, you saw a lot of swimmers had these circles around them. There was cupping. Well, this is what cupping is. But my grandmother would do it with a flame and with a glass and then stick it on you. But she'd put it all over me. And it looked, with all these ringlets all over my body, it looked like I got gang raped by octopus. So I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I did this thing called the Venduza Palooza World Tour. Get a shirt. Portion proceeds will help benefit Muscular Dystrophy Association like we always do. So make sure you guys get whatever. It's been an honor to be on this. And tell Terry I know how much it meant to him. That's why he wasn't here. He was going to drink a pint and tell him, oh my God, I'm so impressed. And if you guys want to reach out to me as well, you can always reach out to me at info, that's INFO, at basilelive.com. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Next question left, I believe.
Yeah, well, I have 2 because we usually shut it down at 45 and that's it. But we have comments coming in right now. A bunch of them saying, we got to hear about Bullwinkle. We have to hear the story behind that. So real briefly, tell us how you got into that voice role, because that's awesome.
There's 3 of us all together, but I do most of the stuff. There's no new Bullwinkle cartoons. I'm a redubbing master. I fixed the original loops that were made from 1959 to early 1961. And my job was to fix the old loops. Put in words, sometimes you may hear something, hey, Rod, how come we can't, something, and all of a sudden they would disintegrate, right? And the audio was done in places, it wasn't done in the United States. The audio, as well as the cartoon itself, when they would draw the cartoons, were done either in Mexico City or in Australia. So it wasn't the greatest quality of work that they had. So I was working for a radio station, WMMS in Cleveland, and I was doing Bullwinkle. And I was also, I'll tell you right now, a lot of people don't know, the voice of James Brown, the godfather of soul. And I was doing the OJ trial updates, and I'll get there for a second. And my job was basically, as Bullwinkle, they said, Buena Vista at that time had it. And when they, I did it for Buena Vista. Then it was sold over to Universal Studios. So my job was like, hey, if you want to catch me, go ahead to the pavilion. And, and I would go ahead and do that. So I was a redubbing master. Bill Scott was the original voice. And, it was great because I got a chance to work with June Foray, the late June Foray, the great June Foray. Done Taco Bell commercials, done a lot of other things that were national spots. And then I was nominated for Emmy work I did the voice of, I can't show you, but 30 for 30 special that I did. I was the voice of Jimmy the Greek Schneider that I narrated as Jimmy the Greek. sang for the Kristen Yamaguchi on Ice special as the Genie Friend Like Me. And James Brown, I was doing the OJ trial updates as the Godfather of Soul, because who else was going to have a non-biased opinion of how the white man was going to treat OJ Simpson but James Brown, who was already in prison. So I would call up my syndicators at WPLJ in New York, and I would go, "Good God Almighty, this is James Brown with another OJ trial update. Let me tell you, white people, what went down. It's even that big Ben Marshall Clark along with Big Bud Debbie Dog and talking Sushi Man, look over to the size of Sober number 2, Johnny Cochran, F.B. Pearl Bailey, and he my hero Shapiro. Talking about a thing called DNA, also known as the nut. Now that the nut has a thing called the G track, G1, G2, G3, G4, G5. Sushi Man, he jumped back with, "Hey, jump back. You sunk my battleship." This is James Brown with another. And that's what I got paid for.
Wow. Wow, wait. That is insane.
And it's been some of the most fun things to go into the studio and do all these different voices. And there's a lot of Japanese anime that I've done, Blue Sub 6, Unai, Bubblegum Crash. I got a chance to do all those as well. And then a lot of regional and national spots with my voice, because I could always contort my voice in a way that needed to be done. So I've always loved doing that. So I'll be doing more cartoon stuff as I'm getting older, because my voice has gotten even smoother. So it's allowed me to go ahead and hopefully do this till the day I die.
Okay.
Oh, so cool. So cool.
I got to do commercials for Tad, as Bullwinkle. As Bullwinkle. Can you imagine? Hey, Terry can't be here right now. He's watching football. So I'll be answering all the questions with, of course, Sam and Nick. Take it away, boys.
It's not childhood all over again.
Terry's going to crap on me when he sees me.
Oh, that's hysterical. That is
But again, thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah, of course. This has been an amazing hour. It's just flown by, as it always does. And there's one question that we always ask on every Tad Talk episode, and I'm going to ask you right now. And we always get so many great answers for this, so I can't wait to hear yours. You have 60 minutes. You can spend the next hour with any two people, dead or alive, anywhere in the world. Who are you going to spend it with? Where are you going to be? And what are you going to talk about?
Two people, dead or alive. And I can spend 60 minutes each with them. Listen, I don't want to come across as a holy roller, because I'm not. I am a man of faith. But I would definitely love to spend an hour with Jesus to see how he actually did it, how he got people together. To me, that would be phenomenal to see how he did that, and the love that he must have had and stuff, to be forgiving, to be accepting. In a flash, that had been number one. Yeah. Number two, and I think Sam will love me for this, Winston Churchill. Oh, okay. I find Winston Churchill perhaps one of the most historic figures who saved the world with his tenacity and believing in the English people, making sure that he kept the Allies together with the Russians and the Americans. And that was a very terrible time in our world's history. We came across, and millions were lost, but millions were saved because of Winston Churchill's set of brass, what that he had. And yes, I would have loved to have spent an hour with him during that time.
Incredible answers. Incredible answers. And when you think about the current climate, thinking about living through those times, and the Spanish flu and those wars, the Great Wars, and the Vietnam War and all those. Lots of people lived through all of that, and this. Some people are saying is a blip. A lot of people are saying it's it's the worst thing that's ever happened. These things keep happening to us, don't they? Keep happening to us. But we've lived through certainly lived through worse times than today. And Winston Churchill was one of those guys, wasn't he, Basile?
Just, the Lend-Lease program that he went through with America, because America was kind of a laissez-faire. They didn't want to be involved in any type of a war. And what he did is just, and that's why I tell people all the time, read your history, because if you forget your history, it always has a crazy way of repeating itself. So, that's the most important thing. I mean, you and I and all the people that are watching, we all can laugh and joke around and whatnot. But the thing is, we also have to be teachers, and as teachers, and we tell kids and whatever. And I tell my nieces and nephews, and they're in their 20s now, and I'll tell them, hey, let me tell you a story, whatever the case may be. And they'll listen to me because I'm Basile, if you will, and they'll say, oh, my uncle's Basile. We'll listen to him. We won't listen to our parents, but my kids won't listen to anything I say. Know your history. That's why we don't really, sometimes we have an interpretation of what the Bible is right now. We don't really know. But man, wouldn't you have loved to just sit next to Jesus and see how he did things?
Yeah.
That'd be amazing, and I don't care what faith you belong to. I don't care if you're a Muslim, a Jew, a Christian. I don't care. Whatever you believe in, how would you not want to sit next to Jesus for at least an hour and talk to him and listen?
Oh, Basile, what a delight it's been talking to you today, man.
Oh, thanks, man.
We've laughed.
You and I, Sam, when we get together, we got to go to Greece. We'll even take Nick with us. He'll be our cabana boy, okay?
We were on for half an hour before the show started. Nick was eating the apple for the entire hour and a half. I mean, he was halfway through when we started. He'd only just finished when we went live. But listen, thanks to Basile, thanks to Nick, great job. Thanks to Ross for taking care of things backstage. Thank you, Ross. Don't forget, join us tomorrow. We have in our language, a soccer legend right here on Tad Talk. Bob Wilson, Scotland international goalkeeper, Arsenal #1 goalkeeper, FA Cup winner, league winner. He's a genius. He's a legend. Join us tomorrow on Tad Talk. We will see you then. Take care. Good night. God bless everyone.